Unit 3, the inventory app. So what we're going to do to round this unit off is make a simple app that calculates the number of items in a shipment based on the number of cartons received and the number of items per carton. So basically what we're going to do is do a simple multiplication. What we want to focus on though is how we get something from the screen, turn it into a number, specifically an integer. That's what we're going to be working with, integer data type. Then do a simple multiplication, because if you have the number of cartons, the number of items in each carton, obviously the total number of items would be a product. Once we find that product, we'll put the answer back on the screen. And again, on a screen, everything is a string. So when we take it in, we have to convert it to an integer, do the calculations, then turn it back into a string to put it back on the screen. So a very simple app. Make sure you have Eclipse open and let's dig right in. Inventory app. So if you have your Eclipse open and we go to the Introduction to Computer Science project, we are in Unit 3 clearly. So what we're going to do now is make a class called inventory. Inventory. Okay. Obviously, I need the main method. One little thing here that I normally skip by is that the super class should be JFrame. Okay, so I have the inventory, and this is literally saying it's parent. We'll talk about this a little bit more later. And we have the main method here, and we hit finish. So now that we have this inventory, you could see that it has the JFrame here, and the JFrame is what I want. I want to import it, and it says JFrame, but that's not good enough because it should be importing all of it. So I'm gonna just delete that, put my mouse on here, and say import all of it for me. It's actually in the swing package. So we have javax.swing, and now we have the frame. Let's get rid of this stub. And for this project here, all we're gonna do is I'm gonna figure out all the pieces that I need first, do a quick stub out, write everything, and then we're gonna fill the things in. Okay. What we're gonna look at too is errors. I'm gonna have some errors. We're gonna do some debugging and so on. So let's jump right in. So we have the main method is the only method we need, but we need some other methods as well. So we're going to start off by writing out all the different components that we need. We need a content pane. Okay, we need a content pane. So let's do that. It's private, and it's a container. Content pane. We're going to always do this, okay? So it's not spelled right. So container content pane, and if you're saying, well, why is there a red line on the here? It's because we need to import it, but I'm gonna keep going. We also do need some labels. We want some labels and text fields. Okay, so we want all these things. So let's see. I want private JLabel. We're gonna make a bunch of them. So cartons JLabel. That's one, comma. Items JLabel. Another one. We're going to use a total JLabel. And these are just going to label the different text fields that we're going to be using. So let's get some text fields now. Private JText fields. So we want the cartons JText field. At this point right now, you should probably be picking up a pattern. Items JText field. And of course, the last one is the total. So I'm going to call that total result JText field. Okay, so we have all the different components that we need. Okay, so let me just get rid of this. I don't want the left side anymore. So actually, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it because we're going to borrow some things from the microwave. So right now, we have a bunch of components that we're going to use. The last one we're going to use is a calculate button. Okay, we're going to press that button and it's going to actually calculate the answer. So we're going to get to see something called event handlers. We're going to do it with the button, and we're going to do something with the text field. When you press the button, what happens? When you type in the field, what happens? So private JButton. It's going to call a calculate JButton. Okay, so we have all the pieces that we need. We just need to import these, put my mouse on it, get my container, put my mouse on this one, get my label. Should be getting used to this now. Get my text field, all of these from the API. Get the button as well. So you can see all my API imports up here. So I have all the things that I need. Let me just make this a little smaller. So we have all the things that we need here. So let's just finish off writing down. This is called stubbing out. So we need a constructor. Okay, so it's the name of the class. Okay, same name up here. So I'm just going to copy that, the quick way to do it, and paste, and then open and close parenthesis. Get rid of the word class. I have my constructor. This is called a default constructor because no values are in here, no inputs, no parameters. All right, my main is stubbed out. My constructor is stubbed out. I'm gonna do my methods now. A lot of methods. So I'm gonna write the private void create user interface, and I'm gonna use the name of this method all the time to create my interface. So you're gonna get used to it. And of course, in this, we're gonna call this method. So I'm gonna say this dot create user interface. So if you look at my code right now, you should realize that it all looks very similar to everything we've been doing. Okay, it's just you make the class, you get the stuff you need, you get all the stuff you need, I should say, including the button. Then we have this constructor here that creates user interface. This is the create user interface, and then we have all of the methods beneath here. Okay, we're going to put some methods there, all the different methods that we're going to write. Of course, the main being the only one we actually need. So let's go ahead and fill the main in. So it's going to be called inventory, and I always call it app, equals new inventory. And I'm going to say app.set default close operation. I don't normally type that. I just click on it and then exit and close. Start the app, stop the app. It's called inventory because we're doing inventory. Now, since we have this all stubbed out and ready to go, what we want to do is actually borrow some stuff. That's why I said I'm not going to bother close it out. I was going to close out this left side, but I decided to keep it because I want to borrow some stuff. Okay, and that's the good thing about writing code. If you write good code in a project previously, you could actually use it in a future project. So let me go and open up my microwave. Okay, now I have two tabs up here, the inventory and the microwave, and I want to go and get some things from the microwave, and I want to get some things from the microwave to put in the inventory so I don't have to type them up. That's the speed. Okay, so let's see. I don't need everything in here, I just need some things. So for example, content pane setup, I think I want that. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, copy, go over the inventory, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to put it right above my create user interface. So that's one of the methods that I need. What I don't want though is I don't want it dark gray. Okay, instead I want it white, and that's the good part about this is you could choose something that you wrote before and make a little change to it. So I don't want the dark gray anymore. I want it white. I'm gonna go back, see what else I need. Oh, I have some. Do I have any panels? Do I have any panels? Because I want to set up. No, don't have a panel, so I don't need that. Let's just see. Do I have a label? Obviously, I have a lot of labels. I'm going to borrow this one. Copy that, and paste. Now, I don't necessarily need everything that's there, so I'm going to. So I'm setting up my label, but I don't have a control panel. So where I'm going to put this, I'm going to put it on the content pane instead. Okay, put it on the content pane. So I'm copying and pasting. I want it on the content pane and not on a panel because I don't have any panels. I don't want this border. Okay. So even though I borrowed this from the microwave, there's some things that I want and some things that I don't want. I don't want this border here. So I'm going to get rid of that. So let's see. First thing you do is you make the label. You set its bounds, tell it where to go, tell it how big to be, its width and its height. You want to do something with the text if you want. You want to center the text or right or left, and then you add it to the whatever container it's going to be on, and it's going to be on the content pane. And then I'm going to return the label. So so right now the microwave gave me two things. I'm going to look to see if I need, yep, I have this. I have a button. I want to set up a button, of course. So I'm going to borrow this guy. I'm just going to see if I need to change anything though. Okay, so yes, control panel, I don't have that. So let me put it on the content pane. Copy the content pane, put it here. Yes, the alignment is center. Okay, so everything here looks good. It makes the button, tells it where to go, gives it the size, put the text in the middle, add this stuff to the content pane. Okay, so I'm good there. Let's go back to the microwave again. Let's see what else we need. Oh, a window. Absolutely need to set up the window, right? I need to set up the window. Copy that. Now, that doesn't mean I need every single thing that's in the setup window for the microwave, okay? So in my setup window for this, I might need to change the values in my set bounds, and absolutely I need to do that, okay? So instead of this being 574, I'm going to make it 354. Okay, I did these numbers already in case you're wondering, like where you're getting these numbers from. These were already pre-calculated. So that's my window is going to show up at X position 300, Y position 300, so 300 across, 300 down, and that's going to be the site. It's not a microwave. No, it's not a microwave. It's an inventory. So I'm borrowing some things from the microwave, but making some changes. And what does that does? That makes me write this much faster. Okay? Because now I have a bunch of things that I already did. So if you write good code, you can always reuse. So now that I have all of this, I can go ahead and build up my interface here. Now the thing here is you got to do the math before you start writing the create user interface method clearly, because the create user interface method is very specific as to where things are going to go. So let's see what we need. Now, the first thing we need to do is to say this dot set up the content pane, right? Because that's always first. And then the last thing we need to do is this dot set up the window. And if you're not picking up this, stuff, as in we're doing this over and over again, then you really need to pay attention, because content pane first, window last. Now, I need to go ahead and set up all of these in between the content pane and the window. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set them up. So the first one I'm going to do is the cartons JLabel. Cartons JLabel. Okay, that's going to be equal to this dot setup label. All right, I'm not going to put the information in yet. So I'm going to scroll back up. And what's the next one? Items JLabel. So you see, and then total. So sometimes I like to just go ahead and copy these from on top and then set them both up. So I'm going to put these two here. I know it's going to be an error, but it's fine. I'm going to say equals, drop a line down, bring you over, make another equal here, and then both of these are going to be calling this, because these are both labels. Okay. Now I'm going to set them up. The cartons label goes here. You should start picking up a pattern here. The items label goes here. The totals are gonna go here. Now it's up to me whether I want text on them or not. All right, and what's the bounds? I do want text on this one. I'm gonna just put an empty string here for now, and I'm gonna write down what I want. I want cartons per shipment. Per shipment. Colon. Now what I want here for the X is 0, the Y is gonna be 16, and then I gotta figure out what my remaining bounds are. The width is gonna be 140. These are all pre-calculated, and the height is gonna be 21. So I did the cartons JLabel. So I gotta do the items JLabel now. And the text in here is going to be items per carton, right? So I got to figure out my bounds again. These are things you got to actually sit down and figure out before you start. This is 0. This is 48. The Y value is 48. The width is gonna be 110, and this is gonna be 21. The totals J label, I'm gonna put the word total on it with a colon, and the X coordinate is 204. The Y coordinate is 16. The width is going to be 40, and the height is going to be 21. Alright, so I did my labels. Now it's time to do my text fields. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go back up here, scroll to the top, and I'm going to grab all these text fields that need to be lined up. Okay, so let me just go ahead and say that, not lined up, but set up. Let me just go ahead and say, you see these had a yellow line, now they're gone? That's because these are already set up. These are not set up yet, so you see a yellow line on them. So I'm going to copy, because I just want to make sure I'm doing them in order. So leave a little space between the labels and the fields. Let me leave a little space between the content pane as well, just so things look nice and organized. And equals, I'm going to drop this down. So quickly I'm writing my code here, get into this habit. I'm stubbing out because I know what I want. Okay, so for these, I'm going to say this dot set up the text field this time. Oops, I don't have a setup text field. I don't, right? Because if you look carefully, all I have is a button and a label. I need a setup text field. So we need to make one. So I'm going to say set up text field. So it's going to be private. And if you're wondering how do I write it, just look at the button. Okay, I'm making a text field, so I'm going to send back a text field. I'm going to call it set up text field. And yes, I'm going to say jtext field. I'm going to call it field. And I'm going to have some string text. Then I have an int x, int y, int width, and int height. At this point, you should really be realizing some similarities and things that stand to become repetitive. Alright, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to get rid of this now because I don't think I need my package explorer. I think I've borrowed all that I need to borrow from the microwave, so I'm going to write the rest. Obviously, right now, my text field has to be created, so how do you do it? You say field, this guy right here, I'm going to make him, equals to a new jtext field. Okay. So I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna say put the text on it, just like I did with the button and everything else. If you don't have any text to put on it, you just put an empty string. Then I'm gonna say field that sets your bounds. And obviously I just made an error there, so let me do it over. Set my bounds. I want to choose it. I don't want to type it. Okay. And then after that, you could see all my stuff going on here. I'm doing literally the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say I could do the set horizontal alignment if I want. Field dot set your horizontal alignment. That's not horizontal alignment, so I gotta do it over. You gotta look carefully for these things. So it's the second one, and my alignment is gonna say jtext field dot center, and then I'm gonna say content pane dot add. And I'm going to add the field, and then I'm going to return it. So you should start seeing some similarities. I just wrote a text field, but other than the name, it's literally the same as a button. If you look at it carefully, you'll see, okay, the only thing that changed was the type. Text field, button. But everything else is the same. That's how powerful the API is. It makes everything feels the same even though they're different. So that's how you get used to doing things over and over again, like I keep saying, the repetition. So since I just made my setup text field, let me go ahead and set it up. See? Easy as that. Now this is going to be the same call to the method for all three. So I'm going to copy and paste all three of them. Now yes, each one's going to have a different set of numbers and different set of setting up, but pretty much the same idea here. So in the first text field, cartoons text field, I'm going to put that here. And I forgot the D here in text field. That's why you see a little error there. And then for this guy, you're going to be the one that's the field I'm setting up. And you are going to be the one that's the field I'm setting up. Now time to put some text on it. So the carton's text field is going to have a 0 in it. Not an O, but a 0. The items text field also going to have a 0 in it. And the totals text field is not going to have any text in it. So it's empty text or empty string. Now we're going to get the bounds. So the cartons is going to be at 140. And the Y is 16. And the width is 40. And the height is 21. The items one is going to be 140. And we have 48. And then we have 40 and 21. You should start picking up a pattern here. So the totals is going to be at 244. The Y is going to be 16. And the width is going to be 86. And the height is going to be, you make a guess, 21. Alright, so I'm setting up things, and things are starting to look good so far, because I have all the stuff set up in some easy create user interface method, and I have all my things all done. Now if I were to go ahead now and run this app, let's see how it looks if we have anything. So here's my app. I know it looks small, but that's the whole point here. The window was really small, so 112 as a height. So here we have all the things we just set up. Now what we don't have on here is my button.